Good day. Thank you for joining us for today's news. If you find this helpful, please consider subscribing. We're here every day with calm, clear updates just for you.
A nationwide strike by approximately 36,000 nurses, midwives, and healthcare assistants is set to begin on Wednesday at 9 a.m. This marks a significant escalation in ongoing disputes over staffing levels, pay, and patient safety. The strike follows failed last-ditth cacophonies. The New Zealand Nurses Organisation, NZNO, has raised serious concerns about unsafe staffing levels in hospitals, which they argue puts patients at risk. Despite repeated warnings from nurses, the issue has not been adequately addressed, leading to the current strike action.
New Zealand is still dealing with the aftermath of a powerful weather system that has brought heavy rain, strong winds, and the threat of flash flooding and landslides. The Met Service has issued continued warnings for Wednesday morning as the storm system moves east. On Tuesday, several schools in Northland were closed, and Auckland's Harbour Bridge was placed under an amber alert due to high winds. Authorities are urging caution and advising people to stay updated with weather. With the weather expected to persist into Wednesday, communities are being encouraged to remain vigilant and follow official advice to minimize risks.
In a surprise move, New Zealand's government has shifted the responsibility for oil and gas spill decommissioning from legal processes to the discretion of two ministers. This last-minute change, announced at 5 p.m. on Monday, leaves opposition Mengtis with less than a day to prepare for the debate, which cost taxpayers nearly $300 million. Resource Minister Shane Jones claims the change resolves a loophole in a 2021 law designed to prevent the government from being burdened with such costs. However, Labour's Energy and Resource spokesperson Megan Woods accused the government of yielding to industry pressures. The amendment to prevent the Galpole and SAF spy Labour MP Deborah Russell criticized the lack of consultation with stakeholders, including iwi, and warned that the oil and gas industry, now in decline, may use ministerial discretion to their advantage. The government has also set aside $200 million in this year's budget to co-invest in new gas fields. As the debate over the future of the oil and gas industry intensifies, the question remains, will this shift in power lead to a revival of the sector or further environmental and economic controversy?
In a recent decision, the New Zealand government has moved New Zealand to the top of passports, placing Aotearoa in a more subdued position. While framed as a minor administrative change, the move has sparked a broader conversation about cultural identity and the role of Te Reo Māori in official Since 2021, passports have featured the Māori phrase Uru Wenua Aotearoa, a deliberate nod to the country's bicultural heritage. However, the current decision signals a shift toward English first policies on government doctrine disatoffert with the province of Māori Lakeregs. While the change may seem small, it highlights the tension between honoring the past and moving forward, between the English and Māori voices in shaping New Zealand's identity. Around the world, passports often reflect multiple identities without threatening non-modernity, and the ongoing cultural conversation.
New Zealand is preparing for a major weather event as heavy rain and thunderstorms are expected to hit the country. Met Service has issued warnings, especially for the North and South Islands, where flooding risks are high. Local authorities are working with emergency services to ensure safety and readiness. Residents are being asked to stay informed and take precautions such as avoid cashew. Farmers are also urged to protect their crops and livestock. The situation is expected to last several days, with the heaviest rain falling in the early hours. Emergency services are on high alert, and community resilience is key as the weather continues to develop.
Late Tuesday night, a milk tanker overturned on State Highway 2 in Bay of Plenty, spilling nearly 25,000 liters of milk across the road. The incident happened just before 11:30 p.m. near the intersection with Matat. Fire and emergency services quickly arrived on the scene, but no one was trapped and there were no injuries reported. The highway remains closed, causing significant disruption to local traffic in Jupiter. This event has sparked a conversation about the risks of transporting large volumes of liquid on major highways. Especially at night, experts are pointing out the need for improved safety protocols in the transport industry. While the immediate focus is on the cleanup, the long-term implications of this accident. As the investigation continues, the community is left to deal with the aftermath of this unusual and unsettling event. The story of this milk spill is not just about a single accident. It's a call for reflection on safety and preparedness in the transportation sector.
In a bold move, the UK is set to recognize the State of Palestine in September, but only if Israel takes significant steps to end the crisis in Gaza. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has made it clear that the UK will move forward with recognition unless Israel agrees to a cut-bay, halts annexation in the West Bank. This decision follows an emergency cabinet meeting where Starmer and his ministers discussed a new peace plan with European leaders. As the humanitarian situation in Gaza worsens, with reports of starvation and inadequate aid, the UK's move has been backed by calls supported the idea of Palestinian state. Other nations like France and New Zealand have also signaled their support for Palestinian statehood, adding to the growing international pressure on Israel. While the recognition is a significant step toward a two-state solution, the road ahead remains challenging with deep-seated tensions and complex. As September approaches, the world will be watching to see whether Israel meets the UK's conditions, or if the UK moves forward with its plan, reshaping the trajectory of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
New Zealand is set to observe a one-off National Day of Reflection for survivors of abuse in care on the 12th of November 2025, backed by a $1 million fund for survival events. Many activists and survivors feel the initiative is a symbolic gesture rather than a meaningful step toward justice. The day follows a year since Prime Minister Christopher Luxon's apology, which promised a lasting commitment to addressing past wrongs. Survivors have criticized the lack of legend page. The Royal Commission of Samgrupperi found the funding routes in state and faith-based care of a new compensation scheme has not been fulfilled. Survivors like Tu Chapman argue that a single day cannot adequately address the lasting trauma of decades of abuse. The debate continues over whether the government is truly committed to long-term reform or merely offering a symbolic gesture.
More than 36,000 nurses, midwives, and healthcare assistants in New Zealand are walking off the job for 24 hours in a major strike. The action is driven by concerns over staffing levels and pay, with the nurse organization emphasizing that this is not just about money, but about ensuring patient and staff. Health New Zealand has offered a 2% pay increase this year and a 1% increase next year, but the union is calling for a 3% increase this year and a 2% increase next year. The strike highlights the ongoing challenges in the healthcare sector, including understaffing and the need for government support to ensure safe staffing.
Severe weather is sweeping through parts of New Zealand, bringing with it thunderstorms, heavy rain, and strong winds. The Bay of Plenty, Gisborne and Coromandel regions are under a severe thunderstorm watch, with residents already experienced power cuts, localized flooding, and blocked drains. Strong north to northeast winds are expected to accompany the heavy rainfall, increasing the risk of damage to property and infrastructure. Emergency services captains to stay prepared with more thunderstorms expected. The situation could worsen before it improves, making vigilance and preparedness crucial for those affected. As the weather system moves through, the potential for further disruptions remains high, highlighting the need for caution and quick response from both individuals and community.
That's all for today's news. We appreciate your time. If you enjoyed this update, please consider subscribing. Your support helps us keep going.